How's everybody doing this evening? This is Mike Craig, aka Mike 1040, coming to you live this evening. Listen, we've got a few things that we wanted to discuss, but let's, get right to the subject at hand. We were talking about what we're going to do in terms of tips for new preparers that are in this business, things that would make a new preparer profitable. Well, first of all, let's talk about the fact is that there are so many things that you have to know in terms of what the IRS tax code is. There's over 70,000 pages of IRS tax code. Nobody's exactly sure how many because they keep adding to that number. So you're saying to yourself, with 70,000 pages that we've got to deal with, how can anybody, as a novice, as a brand new person, maybe, a stay-at-home mom with a couple of kids, how could she possibly, get involved in this business? And the answer to that is really what the secret sauce is all about. You don't need to know all of the 70,000 pages. What you need to know is that section of the code that pertains to you. So you really need to know what you don't need to know. In terms of being successful, in terms of being profitable, particularly in your first year or first 2 years, in the business, you've got to figure out who it is that you're going to do tax returns for. Once you figure out who it is that you're going to do tax returns for, you're already ahead of the game so far as that is concerned. All right. Now, just think of it in terms of what is my niche, what is my niche, and what is my niche. It's all about that. Let's say, for example, you've got all these fancy, sophisticated tax professional people. I'm talking about lawyers. I'm talking about the CPAs, people like myself, enrolled agents. Those are the folks that are going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. They're going to be doing most of the quote-unquote business tax returns. New preparers are asking me things like, well, Mike, I don't feel comfortable, doing some of these business returns. Are you going to be able to help me with those? The answer to that is yes, I will be able to help you with them. But the truth of the matter is, they're not going to represent the bulk of the tax returns that you do in your first or second year, or really should they? The tax returns that you do are going to be basic mom and pop type of tax returns. Actually, more specifically, usually a single mom with a couple of kids, maybe one W-2, maybe two W-2s. She has positive, ID, and she needs a refund money like yesterday. And she doesn't have any money, but she still wants you to get the tax return done, and she still wants her tax return done by a tax return professional. Well, bottom line is, that's what I help you to do. I'm the sort of person that you can partner with and say to me, well, Mike, will I be able to keep all of my tax fees if I partner with you? First things first, the answer is yes. You will be able to keep all of your tax fees. Now, the question is, if you have difficult cases, yes, I'll help them with you. If your customer doesn't have any money, I will show you ways where you can get their tax return done, even if they don't have any money, get your fees paid, and get them the refund that they actually deserve. That's the most important thing. You just need a little tiny niche. How much is that niche going to be? Well, that kind of depends, but I'll give you a scenario. Let's say that you take 200 income tax customers and you times those 200 income tax customers by a net $200 income tax fee. When I say net, I mean, I also want you to take into consideration whatever expenses or your costs happen to be. But let's see, you can still net out $200. Many people in this industry are actually doing more on a return like that. And when I say a return like that, I'm talking about a return that has, the earned income tax credit in it, things like the child tax credit. Now they're talking about the additional child tax credit again. They're talking about the American Opportunity tax credit. These are the things. And also, and we talked about this before in our last video, listen, forget about deductions. Focus your attention on these tax credits. That's where the lion's share of the money for your customers' refunds is going to come from. That's where the lion's share of your income is going to come from, because people who are getting really large refunds, okay, are happy with you as long as they get their refunds in a prompt way. And you want to set them up in such a way that these people continue to come back. Can you give them advice when they come back in terms of, what their tax situation is and planning for the future? Of course you can. It's the reasonable, it's the responsible thing to do. It's the ethical thing to do. But first things first, before you have any of those things, you've got to make sure that you are doing enough volume to stay in business. So focus in on that small niche of customers. Okay, find out the things that they like to do on social media. Go to the places where they like to go on social media. Hang out there. Let people know that this is something else that you do, and you'll be surprised. Before you know it, you have the 200, 250, even 300 tax customers, and it's a done deal. All you really need in a virtual business is a good cell phone. That's really all you need. All of this can be done on an app, on a cell phone. So that's what I wanted to tell you about, because really that's what's the most important thing. If you make money in your first, in your first couple of years in this business, yes, if you partner with me, I will teach you about more complicated returns. I'll teach you how to do the business returns with Schedule C. I'll teach you how to do the investment returns with Schedule D. I'll teach you how to do the real estate returns with Schedule E. We'll teach you how to do all of those things. But I got to be frank with you. At least 95% of your returns really won't have anything to do with that. They'll have to do with those tax credits that I talked about before. So I wanted to, talk to you also about the fact that you've got to grow your business by networking with people that you feel that are going to be your clients. Talk to them. Let them know that you're in this business. Tell them to tell their friends that you're in this business. Well, and there's different types of incentives that you can incentivize people to get the word along. Just like people that are watching this video. Okay, my intention with a lot of the people that are watching the video is, number one, to help the people, but also, hey, I'm gonna ask you to help me. I want you, if you can find it in your heart, share this information with people who may need it. Share this information maybe with a mom that's stuck at home. She's got 2 kids. She really can't afford the daycare to go back and forth, and she needs to figure out some way where she's going to be able to make money in her home. Share this information with her. This information to her is worth its weight in gold. So I don't have a lot of really lengthy stuff to talk with you today, but I did want to at least include those things. Those are the fundamentals. Okay, and then of course your own internal motivation. And what's that going to be? Don't think about this business, the income tax business, or any side hustle for that matter, just in terms of what the money is. Think of it in terms of what it does for your family. And by I mean the things that you want to do for your family, the things that you want to do for your kids. This successful side hustle makes those things possible. So that's basically what I got for you today. I do have a few people that I want to give acknowledgement to with a few shout outs. Alexandra Rosa. She's doing some great work in the credit repair space. Couple of tax preparation professionals that I really admire: David Maravilla, Shannon Stansberry, and also Sarah King and Barry Oscar Marquez. Barry, I really hope that I'm getting that pronunciation right. I'm doing the best I can, but my Spanish is muy difícil por un gringo. And also, one of my friends does a tremendous job in the real estate space. Her name is Teresa Sanchez, and I've known Teresa for a number of years. Excellent, tip-top real estate person. And all of those folks really deserve a shout out from me from the bottom of my heart. So that's what I've got for you today. If you want to reach out, you can reach out to me right here on Facebook. Send me a message, okay? Get in touch with me that way. Send me your email. I'd be happy to follow up with you. That's the most important thing, so that we can make this success for you happen just as soon as possible. That's Mike Craig, aka Mike 1040, signing off for you. Thanks everybody for everything. Have a great weekend.